Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Wellness Zoom. I'm so excited to have each and every one of you on here tonight. I'm very passionate about wellness, and I think wellness is so important. My name is Lori Ferrara. I am zooming in from Boise, Idaho. I've been married to my husband, Greg, for 32 years. We have two daughters, we have two son-in-laws, and we have three grandsons. And I can tell you the older I've gotten, the more passionate I've become about wellness because I want to age as gracefully as possible so I can be around for my family, around for my friends, and I'm not, uncomfortable and crickety and achy joints. And I mean, I know, maybe when I'm 100, but when I'm 55, 60, 70, I don't want to feel like that. I want to feel as best as I can. So I am going to age gracefully. And I can tell you, I think there's a lot of people over the last several years that have become very proactive in their wellness. And I know what the things that you're going to learn tonight, you are going to be like, oh my goodness, like this is awesome. Like this hour is going to fly by. I wish we had more time than we do, but we're going to get it all packed in 1 hour. We're going to run through 7 products and you're going to hear 7 testimonials, one on each product. And I'm going to encourage you to have a piece of paper, have a pen, because you're going to want to take notes, have your favorite drink, sit back, relax, and we're going to get started. It is my pleasure to introduce our doctor of the evening. I am so excited. I wait till you hear some of these things that Dr. Jeremy has accomplished. So he has a PhD in biochemistry and molecular biology. He was funded by NASA to investigate how proteins change in microgravity space. He calls himself an applied biochemist as he's been using science to apply nutrition to his life since the late 1900s. So from bodybuilding to marathons to being married to a professional acrobat and Pilates instructor. How's that, right? So he's always looking at and understanding how nutrients influence the body's chemistry in his day-to-day life. This is just part of who he is, part of how he lives. It's just ingrained in him. And I wish it would have been ingrained in me at a younger age than in the last several years. But with that, I am so excited to introduce Dr. Jeremy Sabo. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thank you. I'm happy to see all the faces here. I do always appreciate these being in person, but it is nice seeing people from all across the US and the world. So it's a very powerful tool. Um, so yeah, as Lori said, I got lucky, I guess, and really it was in middle school. I started exercising and then just paying attention to what I ate and wondering why different compounds and supplements did different things. And throughout the years, kind of being a guinea pig myself, taking different supplements, I realized that they all have very poor absorption. So I started diving into food and trying to understand what foods had different compounds and how you had to mix them together. And so all of my meals have become these kind of elaborate chemistry experiments, if you will. And they don't always taste the best, but they're really effective. And wife and daughters, so had to make it taste better over the years. Um, but I think the analogy that I like to use the most is our bodies are kind of like a company or a partnership. And there's a few things that you need to make a company operate, right? Whatever it is that they're selling or they have their thing of value uh, needs raw building material. And it also has managerial, and then it has a higher level administration. So you can think of your cell, the DNA, those are the CEOs, those are the owners, those are the bosses. They've got their epigenetic markers because they've seen things throughout the years and they know, hey, we should bookmark these to come to them more often, or oh, that didn't work. Let's, make note of that. But they don't do the work. The DNA doesn't do the work. It's just the template for every one of your cells, how to make everything in every cell work. And then you've got your managers. This is your RNA. So this is makes a copy of your DNA, and these help instruct. And this is your IT support. This is the logistics of moving everything around. But it's really the proteins. These are the workers. These are They build the building, they make the product, they fix the stuff, they troubleshoot. Your proteins are what do everything in your body via actual work. Some of them are scaffolding, building materials, right? We've got skin and tissue and hair. Other ones help metabolize our food. They break down the things that we eat and then build it back up and turn it into blood, or turn it into energy, or whatever else that we need to heal a scar, repair a bone, uh, wash our brain at night when we sleep, right? It's all proteins that do the work. And proteins, just like people, need the right building materials. And those are our minerals and our vitamins. Well, back in the early 1900s, all the soil had plenty of minerals in it. There was lots of bacteria that were helping synthesize vitamins, and there was a symbiotic relationship. And then the plants were having to fight to survive, bombarded by the sun, bugs, and they were generating all these compounds that, when we consumed them, gave us the same selective advantage. All these antioxidants, all this value, all these minerals from the soil, and then the vitamins. And that's what allowed our proteins to work so well. But today, that's not the case. We grow our food as fast as possible. The minerals aren't there. So, as much as you want to get all your nutrients from food, it's just not what it was 50 or 100 years ago. It doesn't have the same antioxidant capacity. It doesn't matter what the nutrition label says. If selenium was not in the soil or in anything that was consumed along the process, it's not in your meal. It's not in your product, whatever that is. So that's where the need to come in for supplements is, because your workers need the tools.
Hmm.
Now, you also need communication, right? If the workers aren't communicating with the managerial staff, and they're not communicating with the owners and the vision, just like any relationship, if the communication's not there, things fall apart. So this is where a lot of the plant compounds come in. Why you hear, oh, oranges are good, or resveratrol, or grapes, or pomegranate. These are our communication pathways. They help the gut bacteria talk to the nervous system, talk to our brain, talk to our lymphatic system. That's the communication that allows the DNA and the RNA and the protein to all be working together. An easy example of this is when you take a bite of food, you're signaling to your body, hey, something's on the way. So your DNA and your RNA and your protein start making all the stuff that it needs. But today, everything's packed full of corn syrup. Corn syrup doesn't trigger the satiation pathway. But there's a problem. There's a fix. Just take GLP-1. Glucagon, like protein 1. Glucagon is what your stomach produces to tell you that you're full. That's what it responds to the fiber, to the proteins, to the fats. But now that they've put corn syrup into all of our processed food, we're not used to getting corn syrup in everything. And other than honey and molasses, you're fighting off bees or licking a tree. That's the only way that we used to get easy, cheap sugar. So our food systems fighting against us, pharmacies trying to sell us insulin because they feed us too much bread. They've packed in corn syrup and everything. Now they're trying to feed us the protein that our gut's supposed to be making for satiation. So um, that's the template I wanted to set. So as we go through all these products, you see that I can relate it back to our body's a lot like a business, like human interaction, where you need the communication, you need the building tools to make everything work properly. And it's just been missing from our diet. And now we're all at this point where we're trying to age gracefully, and yeah, just age is catching up quicker than it should. So
Oh my goodness. No, that I love how you refer to our bodies like a business, and you have the CEO, you have the managers, you have the workers, and how it all needs to work together. And the communication, like you said, is huge. And I know I want my body communicating properly, and I want things working properly. And I know I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Jeremy, I believe like 80% of things are in our gut. It starts in our gut. Am I accurate in saying
oh
that?
yeah, like serotonin production, immunity, tons of stuff. It's our gut communicating with the rest of our body.
So that is so important that I'm having the nutrients get into my body, and my gut working properly, so my whole body is working properly. So I'll just say let's start with this first product, which is Vitalite. And this is our supplement pack. I like to start my day every day with this, Dr. Jeremy, right away in the morning. I just rip one of these open. It's a 30-day supply in this box, you guys, and you get 30 packets. There's 5 supplements in each packet. And I just rip it open. And I personally, Dr. Jeremy, I take it on an empty stomach. And you guys, you know why I can take it on an empty stomach? Because it doesn't have a bunch of fillers. It's natural whole foods that are going to actually nourish my body and get into my cells. And I'll turn it over to you, Dr. Jeremy.
Yeah, so that's again one of this is the only supplement company that I'm like, yes, they solved the absorption problem because you can introduce iron and all these minerals, but your body's used to having the rest of the package with it, right? And so in Vitality, you've got this glycoprotein matrix. So glyco just means sugar and protein. Inside of our body, all of our cells have this fat membrane, and there's proteins that communicate with everything else. So like when insulin binds to our cell, it binds to a protein, and that communicates to the inside, hey, sugar's on its way in. So it turns it over and opens it up so sugar can come in. And those proteins have all these glucose and sugar moieties on it. So this supplement, when it's introducing the vitamins and the minerals, it's a glycoprotein matrix. So it's already one step closer to what our body would expect if it were to pull nutrients from a food source versus a tablet that just has the minerals in it. It shows up and it's like a friend just showed up Wednesday, 7 o'clock, no warning. You didn't pick up. You're like, what do I do with this? Right. So the body, it's a shock. So what I love also about this supplement is not only does it have all the vitamins and the minerals, but then it's got trace minerals. So those other minerals that you need that you're not getting from the soil. It's got digestive enzymes, so it can start breaking apart the glycoprotein matrix, which again is mimicking food. But then it's got all of these other plant-like compounds, and there's so many in here, but like bitter melon helps with turning on your own GLP-1 production. So that way, when food shows up, it says, "Hey, in 30 minutes you should feel full. Let's get this process started." And that way, whenever you eat it, either on an empty stomach or with a meal, your body's communicating and it knows that there's processes started. A signal transduction pathway is what they call it in biology. And then there's there's just so many things that every one of these berry blends and superfood food blends do. But I mean, they help your lymphatic system. It removes heavy metals. It just communicates to your body, hey, here's all the tools, and then here's the direction to actually take everything to move it through your body to actually absorb it. So for me, this is also like my definite like go-to like the base. This helps all the proteins have all their building materials and then steps it up to the managerial idea. And there's even some epigenetic relationships here too. So if I keep going, we'll run out of time. So I'll pause there. I think we've got a testimonial.
We sure do. We sure do. I'm going to turn it over to Tracy. Hi, Tracy.
Hi, everyone. My name's Tracy Gillette, and I live in Fort Mojave, Arizona, across the river from Laughlin. And I got into this industry in search of a way different from my mom. My mom, when she passed away, she was on 21 different types of pills. And due to that is the reason why her end of life took a turn to the worse. So I started taking these products, and when the saying you have an apple every day, you know it's good for you. Well, that's the way it was with me. I just started taking these products just because I didn't want to be my mom, and I just knew they were good for me. I was getting life insurance, and life insurance had me do some tests. Well, they were giving me the rates, and they said, well, I'm on blood pressure meds, and this is the prime rate, so let's get your tests back, and then we'll go from there. So I did the blood and the urine test, and then I get a phone call from my rep, and she goes, Tracy, and you know that tone, you're like, oh my God, oh, how bad is it? She goes, no, you got prime rate. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Well, a year later, I go and have my lab work done, which is just recently, and I got the test back because I never saw what she saw. Well, my cholesterol went down, my vitamin D went up. I haven't been vitamin D good for, I can't tell you, I was always low. My organs, they said my kidney level was good, my liver, kidney, all my organs went up. And the only thing I did was add these products. So if anything, just keep on eating that apple with these products. And it's true about eating this on an empty stomach because I was always hesitant. And when I did that, I didn't eat until 2 o'clock, which is not good. I didn't even remember I didn't eat, but my scale right now is showing me that I'm going down in pounds too.
That's awesome. Yeah, and that makes sense, right? You're giving your body all the things it needs to do, so it's not stressed storing fat. It's communicating properly, so everything's within range because you're giving it everything that it wants. We also forgot to mention that this supplement also comes with a fish oil. And then it's got omega 3, 6, 9, and it's got 7, which is pretty rare. 7 actually helps with your gut lining. So back to that communication with the rest of your body and the bacteria and getting the right nutrients in. A lot of processed food kind of tears that apart. So, yeah, leaky guts, stuff like that. So yeah, if your body works properly, there's no need to store extra weight because it's not stressed out.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I'm glad. I'm sorry that that happened with your mom. My grandma wasn't on oxygen tank. Every memory I have of her, so I think that encouraged me to be healthier. So it's hard, but I hope that my kids never have to be in a spot like that. So um, that's awesome. Thanks for
Yeah.
sharing.
Yeah, I agree. That is awesome. How wonderful. Like, wow. And you got prime rate. I mean, can't beat that, right? Feeling good, living good, and getting prime rate. What could be better? Well, I'm going to move on to our next product, and this is our collagen product. I love this, Dr. Jeremy, because I love that it's liquid. It's in a liquid form in this little pack. You can keep it on your counter in your pantry, wherever you'd like. I personally like it in the fridge. That's not necessary. I like mine chilled. So I just shake it up, drink it down. It is like I said, liquid collagen, marine based, and it's micronized and hydrolyzed. I believe, Dr. Jeremy, that collagen is a very large molecule and
Mhm.
our cells are not quite as large. So trying to get the collagen in our body to absorb it, us having it micronized, which you guys, I'll give you the Lori lingo. Micronized is chopped up into little tiny pieces. That's Lori lingo.
Yeah,
That's
that's yeah,
science
that's what it
lingo,
is. Yep,
Lori
yep.
lingo. And then our cells can absorb it. So correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Jeremy.
No, that's exactly right. So for food to absorb into our body, it gets chopped down. There's protein in fish, there's protein in chicken. All that protein gets chopped back down into the individual amino acids before it gets stored, and then it's put back together. One cool thing about this supplement is it tastes delicious. So sometimes really healthy foods are a growing pain, but this one's good. Um, there's a lot of new research coming out about just the amount of collagen that's in your body, right? It's not just to help with skin, but also all of your joints, and your whole fascia system. What your fascia system actually holds your bones. Your bones don't hold you up. It's the fascia system that holds you up, and that's predominantly made out of collagen. So flexibility, mobility, strength, being able to get up off the ground without using your hands, the majority of that is from the collagen being able to tighten and compress your muscle and then giving your muscle the ability to produce power. And that's something that unfortunately, as we get older, and if we're not actively lifting weights, you just start to use a lot of it because going without meals or being highly stressed, the body will need proteins to respond to waking up, to being stressed, to relaxing, to going to the gym. There's all these cycles, and those require proteins. If you're not getting those proteins in, the body will liquefy muscle mass and will liquefy your collagen, your fascia system, so then you're losing collagen over time. Um, so the beauty of not only getting that marine collagen back in, as we were saying, it's got to break it all down, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to become collagen again. But if you give yourself all the building materials, and then you provide the encouragement for it to become collagen again, then it will most likely become collagen. And that's what this product does. It's got keratin in it. Usually collagen will become keratin first. So you block that pathway by adding keratin in. So the collagen says, oh, I don't need to make keratin. I'll continue on the pathway of becoming collagen and replacing that. To make collagen, biotin, hyaluronic acid, and vitamin C are required. The supplement also includes all of those. So collagen is this long polymer of repeating amino acids. And like you said, it's very large. So you can't just put it into the cell. You've got to rebuild it. So if you give yourself all the building tools, right? If you eat an orange instead of just taking vitamin C, the orange makes the vitamin C and all the stuff to use it. So you get more out of it than if you just take it by itself. And then the other thing I love in this product is pomegranate juice. Pomegranate juice has been associated with the centurions. So it helps make certain gut bacteria grow. That's been identified in almost all of the people that are living to be over 100 and still active and healthy and moving. So pomegranate juice is just awesome. But their collagen system is also very still, it's got a lot of rigor. And this supplement just kind of hits all of those that just kind of declines as we age and aren't as active. So, yeah, again, you got to give yourself those building blocks. So,
100%. And I do have a testimonial for you. I'm going to turn it over to Greg.
Well, my name's Greg Ferraro. I'm in Boise, Idaho, and I'm Lori's husband. And take a look at Lori, how beautiful she is. She was getting so many compliments all the time, and she was using our collagen. I have to tell you, I thought I want some compliments myself. So I started using it because I wanted some compliments. And I did. I got some compliments after I started using it. People are just saying, wow, you look good for your age, blah, 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 blah. But you know what I noticed, Dr. Jeremy, is exactly what you mentioned about the joints and the muscles and that. I did not realize that that taking collagen would help that. I've lifted weights all my life, and what I noticed is as I got older, my joints started getting sore. My knees, I just couldn't do the things that I once did. My elbows and the ligaments, when I would do curls, it was different. It was harder. I was having issues. But as I started using the collagen, what I've noticed is I'm able to do things like I used to do 20 years ago. I mean, it's helped me rebuild everything so that I don't have that achiness in my joints. My ligaments are healing up properly, and I'm able to do things that I wasn't able to do just 6, 7 years ago, which is kind of crazy. I mean, I'm getting older, but I'm
yeah,
doing things that I wasn't able to do 6, 7 years ago because I'm taking care of my body, and it's the collagen. I'm putting that in there, and it's taking care of the joints, the tendon, and I do get some compliments too. So it's a
yeah,
nice added plus. So
a win-win.
thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, again, every cell in our body has all of our DNA, and all of that DNA wants the cell to be happy and healthy, wants to build the collagen, wants to have proper communication, wants to be able to digest food and get everything out of it. And if you're not getting it from your diet, you're missing building material. So then your body can't do what it needs to do, and it's got to take that from somewhere else. So it starts taking it from, yeah, our own fascia system. So by giving your body those replacement parts, it can rebuild and helps that, then that pain goes away, because the pain's saying, hey, quit putting pressure on this, quit doing this, because we don't have the structural capacity to withstand it anymore, right? Just like when you break a bone, it hurts. So you don't walk on it and do more damage. Don't drive on a flat tire. So yeah, you give yourself the building blocks, and your body's going to want to fix itself. It wants to be healthy. So yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that you're, anti-aging. You're going the opposite way, reverse aging.
He really is. He's reverse aging. Just look at him. But the best part is this. I mean, it's nice to look nice, but not only does he look nice, but he's feeling good. I mean, it's just feels good to feel good. I think it puts a smile
Huge
on your
difference.
face, and yeah, and your outward appearance when you feel good on the inside looks better. We'll move on to our next product, and this is called Revive. You can see these little orange, I'm gonna call them magic beans. Because these, I'm telling you, they're pretty amazing. So inflammation is the number one cause of disease in our bodies. And if we can keep inflammation down, that's going to help immensely to keep diseases at bay or away, right? So you guys, I can tell you this stuff is, I didn't used to realize just how terrible over the counter things were. I mean, Tylenol, ibuprofen, things that I didn't realize were really messing with my gut and tearing it apart. You think, oh, I'm buying it over the counter. It has to be safe. Well, I've learned that isn't necessarily true. I mean, wow. But I can tell you this is safe. It's going to help with inflammation. I absolutely love this product, Dr. Jeremy.
Yeah, so with medicine, I think there's a really good place for it. And that's when you break your leg. You're in serious reactionary, I need something now. But for the little things along the way, there's just been a lot of, I don't know, bad things that we've identified, such as leaky gut being derived from too much ibuprofen, or kidney failure from our Tylenols and aspirins and all of this. So being able to pull in your preventative kind of approach before something goes bad is definitely the way to do it, right? Prepare before you go in. And what I love most about Revive is, yeah, it's tackling that inflammation. So our bodies are ultimately combustion engines, right? You've got sunshine, that sunlight, the photon powers a plant or bacteria to grab CO2 and form a new bond, and forms a new bond, and forms a new bond. And next thing you know, you've got sugars and you've got fats, and you either eat the plants or you eat the things that eat the plants. And then our body breaks those bonds. And when we break the bonds, we use that energy to power all of our movement, for our proteins to make chemistry happen. So we're kind of solar powered in a very long-winded way, but we make CO2 and water as byproducts. It's combustion. But our body's not 100% perfect. If you don't have enough oxygen coming in, if you're sitting at a computer a lot, if you're not active all the time, there's not enough oxygen, combustion's not perfect. You tie that in with the stress of life, being a parent, paying bills, doing alive. And now you're adding extra stressors in, and that's making the cells less efficient. So when you add in something that can help reduce that stress, just like a massage or a good hug or something that just kind of takes that away, it's allowing the body again to communicate, right? It allows the nervous system and the lymphatic system and all the muscles, and it just creates that communication pathway. And the main compounds in Revive that do that are turmeric. So, the thing that makes most Indian food orange, and then boswellia, which is the active ingredient from frankincense. So, three wise men, that's what they brought Jesus. And both of those have tremendous amounts of research and are very well known to be these very broad spectrum anti-inflammatory compounds that complement the body in a lot of ways. And then there's these other oils and gingers and peppers that help the absorption of those. Just like collagen, turmeric's, the curcumin, is a pretty big molecule. So, you need pepper, which is kind of like your taxi driver. And then when it gets to where you're going, then you need ginger. It's like the bouncer at the door, and it says, hey, let this guy in. And the turmeric walks on in. So that's how it gets into your system. Again, crossing that blood, or that thin cell lining in your upper intestine. So, because that's one of the biggest issues with boswellia and turmeric is they're large molecules. They do great once they're in, but the transportation of them is challenging. So, yeah, this is awesome. Anytime that, like tomorrow morning, my neighbor wants to go run 6 miles, and he's 20 years younger than me. So I'll take an extra one of these Revives, and I'll keep pace with him the whole time. And he'll be like, "Wow, you're really fast for your age." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm really fast for your age, and I still feel great." So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, this is just, again, you can knock back Indian food and boswellia all the time, but it's a simple, easy supplement with huge absorption. I don't remember what the numbers are, but compared to just like normal seasoning, there's a reason why their food has so much in it. It's because it's absorbed so poorly. Um, so yeah,
I
it's
love how
awesome.
you mentioned the pepper and the ginger, help get that turmeric in because, just the way these products are designed. I love that you mentioned that because the design is so unique and so important. So again, that our bodies are getting that absorption versus just reading on something, oh, there's turmeric in it. Yes, but does it have, like you said, like the taxi driver, it's the bouncer at the door letting the turmeric, getting the turmeric into where it needs to go in your body which, you know, the pepper and the ginger are important. So I love, 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 love that you mentioned that. And I do have a testimonial. I'm going to turn it over to Val.
Hi, I'm Val Cedar and I live in northern Alberta. I'm coming 73 years old. My husband's coming 77 years old. We love golfing and dancing and doing all sorts of things. So one of the stories that I have to tell is we were out golfing one morning and my husband lost the ball. He hit it the wrong direction. He went looking for it and ended up slipping on a hill and falling down and it really extending his wrist and hurting it. Well, we got up and of course he loves his golf. So we finished the game. Then we ended up heading for home and it really started to hurt. We ended up packing it nice and wrapping it. And we were at his brother's place. And then he said, oh, I've got to go home and I've got to get some Advil or Tylenol or something. And I said, no, you're not. You are going to try Revive. So we went home. I gave him 2 Revive at the time. He took 2 more later on and then 2 when he went to bed. He got up the next morning and he said, I can't believe it. It doesn't hurt. So we enjoy that. And I say to him, you know, there's much that he does too, as he's pretty healthy, moves pretty good, but he was busy building and doing some stuff for us this winter. And sometimes the pain would, you know, aches and pains. So I give him some Revive again and it would really help him. And now he's on more of the products as well. So it's, there's lots of things happening. Now, my story about the pain was I had sore joints and in my knees, my wrists, and I was on the Revive and wishing that I would see like instant results like he did, but it didn't happen for a while. But because I knew what was in it and I knew the science behind it, I stuck with it. And then all of a sudden one day I'm thinking, hey, I don't hurt anymore. I'm walking better. I can move better. I love golfing. I love line dancing, dancing with my husband. And we've been able to continue doing that. And I have just swear by the Revive. It's one of those easy products to give a testimonial on because you see the results more in the open. And I also love putting some of the other products with it that helped actually increase and work faster for me as well. So I'm not ever going off of these products. I've been taking them for a long time yet. And so I can do all the things I love to do.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's what I love about Revive is everything in here you can take forever and it's going to help your organs heal. It does the opposite of what Tylenol and ibuprofen and all the other, you know, pain relievers do, where it's not taking away to numb the pain for a moment. It's helping it heal, helping it rebuild. So yeah, hurt your wrist, there's a lot of inflammation there. So you're going to get that immediate effect. But you take it for a long time and now your body says, oh, hey, I can start putting these things. I can do spring cleaning. I can get all these, you know, wasteful inflammatory products. I can get them out. I can do something with this. And the next thing you know, it's like you got a whole spare room. It's like, oh, I got a whole extra bedroom in my house. Look at all the stuff I can do. So yeah, that's all. Yeah. Anytime that I'm sore or anything else, that's the one I'm always like, oh, hey, ibuprofen? Nah, get out of here. Take this.
Well, and Dr. Jeremy, they also say that you can have inflammation in your organs and that. And I sort of think that was part of my problem as well. I needed the body to heal from the inside out.
Yeah, 100%. Like I was saying, every cell is not 100% efficient. And then every cell is what builds your organs and builds ligaments and build in your brain, right? So getting the inflammation at the cell, at that initial building block down is what then allows you for all the cells to then be working together. And yeah, it's healing from the inside out. And there's also a mushroom in here. I think it's shiitake. Mushrooms are great adaptogens. So it's that communication of, oh, hey, let's go to the gene level and let's help the DNA and the RNA communicate with the protein. So while we're removing this inflammation, we can turn on all the pathways so that everybody's working together. And versus, you know, the ibuprofen, just slap a Band-Aid on like, oh, let's make this hurt less. Yeah.
Oh, I love how you hit on the helping versus masking. And Val, I'm so excited for both you and your husband. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
But
Keep
again,
dancing.
yep, keep dancing. We want to help, not mask, you know? Okay, our next product is Purify, and this is a gentle cleanse. This is gonna help to cleanse 5 major organs: your liver, your lungs, your colon, your kidney, and our biggest organ, which is our skin. I absolutely love that it's such a gentle cleanse, Dr. Jeremy.
Yeah. So I know this one's called a cleanse, but I don't really feel a whole lot of like, oh, I'm being cleansed. But that makes sense because when you look at the ingredients, it's not intended to immediately flush. It's intended to not necessarily scavenge because each of the compounds tend to already migrate to the lungs or the liver, the kidney, but it's helping pull out those heavy metals, right? If you live in a place that's got hard water, you just have a mineral imbalance where you're not getting the trace minerals from your food. It's definitely not in the water, and you've got tons of calcium and irons and other spilled up. So your body tends to hold on to a lot of that, and it's like, well, where do I put it? How do I get rid of it? Right. So this is one of those compounds that says, hey, I can help chelate, or I can pull that out. I can do spring cleaning. Oh, look, it's nice outside. Let's go ahead and make that space. Back to that room analogy, um, back to the idea of a company. Let's say you start getting tons of shipments of something in all at once. You're not going to organize everything super neat, right? It takes time. You've got a garage. Oh, well, you need to buy the right totes. You need to be able to hang stuff on the wall. So to reduce the clutter, to get rid of all the stuff that your body doesn't need, that's what the Purify is doing. It's going in and helping remove those inefficient metabolites from our metabolism that's not 100% efficient. And then it's binding a lot of those heavy metals. And kind of a side quest, there's a lot of new information and controversy around even just vaccines. And we're finding that it's not so much the vaccine that's causing the issues, but there is a relationship to the heavy metals that allows your immune system to respond to the vaccine. And some people do pretty well at getting those heavy metals out, even as an itty bitty baby. Other people, not so much. So we know that heavy metals, mercury, aluminum, there's a lot of neurodegenerative impacts that has. So if you're cooking with aluminum or small amounts getting in your food, then that builds up. So having something like this where you're constantly just getting out those things that are going to stop your proteins from working because it's knocking out the mineral that's supposed to be there, and then it turns your protein off. Protein can't work. You just lost an employee. So that's, to me, it's a cleanse, but it's really just a cleanup crew, right? It's someone to help come in and clean your house, clean the company, like make it tidy. Which we all need.
I love these analogies. They're absolutely fantastic. I love, love, love them. And I know someone else wrote that in the chats too. So I'm going to turn it over to our testimonial, which is Jay.
Thank you, Lori, and thank you, Dr. Jeremy Sabo. I'm really loving this call. I love these calls. I always am learning a lot from them, and applying it into my life. My experience with the Purify is actually quite dramatic in that it did clean me out. I had done, and the thing is, I'd done like a fast before for 10 days. And I did that a couple times, and that's like a full-time job, like when you're on day 5 of a fast, like you're not doing anything else really. You're fasting like that. That's what you're doing today, right? You're reaching out to your support crew, to be like, I can make it. So this is like a different experience, and it's just like a daily, habit where it doesn't, keep you locked in the toilet for the weekend. It makes me more regular, but then it's pulling it for me, it pulled a lot of extra stuff out. So I used to, have these little tingles, and I used to, my senses changed, after taking this product for about a month, I guess. I just have, my reflexes are different. I'm just more, it's sort of like when you peel the film off of a controller, that's new, and it's like that plastic's off, and now it's like shiny. And it was just, that's the experience I've had with my smell and my, and I look at pictures of myself, from a few years ago, and I kind of had, like a stare. And I got to say, when I did use at the beginning, I used a bit more, and it just like things smelt different for a while, and then it leveled out, and that's when I had just this. I was just more, I guess, on the station. There was less buzz. So yeah, I've just been life changing for me. And I just, I take one a night, sometimes two. Like last night I took two. It depends on my diet. And also I grew up in a city, with like, city water and these types of things. And I ate well some days and I ate horrible some days. So I think, it was certainly a huge, powerful, like, yeah, detox, I guess you could say. So I don't know what that smell was. Was that the heavy metals, doctor?
Yeah. So heavy metals bind to the brain, but also your whole nervous system. You think about it, your nervous system it's like an electrical power plant system, right? Where it's using electricity to move through our body. Metals are conductive. So if you've got a protein that's intended to help move this current along, and then you get a heavy metal that binds in the place, you've now changed the shape. So it's like putting a crimp in a wire. And now that electricity doesn't flow as well. And if it starts sparking and creating heat, you now have inflammation. So being able to smell, to see, to hear, all of your senses that are tied to your nervous system, all of those starting to work better, that makes sense because heavy metals tend to accumulate near areas that are conductive because metals are metals. They have extra electrons. It's like a magnet. They just kind of gravitate towards where electrical charge is held. So you start taking that out, and yeah, it makes sense that your smell and other nervous system related communications would turn back on. Because yeah, you had bad wiring, stuff in
I
the way.
that's a great way to put it. That's how I felt for sure.
Cool. Nice.
Wow. And when what another great analogy, now Jay did a great analogy. I mean, I love how you're talking about peeling the film off and that's how you felt.
That's
Like,
good.
yeah, that was another great analogy. These are powerful. And I personally like to take two. I take two every single evening. That's just my personal preference because I know we're exposed to so many toxins, our clothes, our food, our water, the air we breathe. I mean, there deodorant, makeup. I mean, there's toxins everywhere. I just want to try to cleanse my body as much as possible. So I personally do two every single evening. We'll move on to our next product, which is Immune. And this is going to do exactly what it says on here. Immune is going to help support your immune system. And who doesn't want a healthy, happy immune system? I'll turn over to you, Dr. Jeremy.
Yeah. So the first way this compound or the supplement does it is by giving you those fat soluble vitamins, where normally we think of vitamins like the B vitamins, and they've got a unique shape to them, but they're usually water soluble. So the fat soluble ones you have to consume with a lipid, or else they won't get absorbed. And things like we call vitamin D a vitamin, but really it's a precursor for hormones. So your hormones help drive your immune system's function by, again, communicating throughout your entire body, your testosterone and your estrogen. If your immune system's under attack, then it's going to start pulling energy away from your hormonal regulation and communication. So by giving yourself the tools that your body needs to have proper communication, and then to add in the other components that say, okay, let's increase your innate immunity and let's increase your active immunity, you can now take the energy away from producing these vitamin or these fat soluble vitamins and the other compounds that come from your food. So instead of producing those or lacking them and having them take from somewhere, you can move that energy over to the immune system. So, you've got 100 employees, a couple of them have multiple training jobs. These ones have all the tools they need. They got their job done early. They can now go help the other guys. So that's how this supplement, I think, is beautiful in the making, because if you just start to get sick and you start taking a bunch of zinc and vitamin C and all this other stuff, yeah, you're now giving energy to your immune system, but it's being taken away from somewhere else. If you give your body the things that it needs, then those auxiliary cells and functions can then contribute their energy to the immune system, which every day your skin's bombarded with outside. Every time we breathe in, there's all this stuff where we're constantly needing to have an active immunity that's circulating through. And that's what I think the supplement does so well is it's got the great absorption. So everything that you take is actually getting into your system, which again baffles me. Like, imagine going to a restaurant and being like, oh, I'd like a quarter pounder. And they bring you a tenth of that. And you're like, well, there's only a 10% absorption. So this is what you get. Like, nowhere else in the world would that be okay. But in the supplement world, they're like, it's fine. 10% absorption. That's what you get. So sorry, side quest.
So good.
But yeah, so again, there's mushrooms in here, there's adaptogens, there's more of those trace minerals, right? You need trace minerals. Like trace minerals do things like chromium will bind to the protein that insulin binds to, and then it makes that protein more sensitive to insulin. So now you need less insulin for your body to work. It recognizes it more. Chromium does the same thing. It binds to other proteins, it makes the protein more efficient, and now your body doesn't have to make as many of these signaling molecules, and it can exert that energy somewhere else. So by adding in these trace minerals, these adaptogens, um, yeah, there's quite a few of those elderberry. I mean, stuff like everybody knows elderberry works. We've been taking it forever. And so it's nice to see it like in a place like this because it's not just one compound. We didn't just like extract a thing. It's like, no, no, no. We want the orange. We want all the stuff that's using all the good stuff in here. See, that's what I like about this supplement is like it's a supportive everyday, like I don't want to get sick ever. So let's support my immune system to do its job every day.
I love it. I'm getting so many notes. This is so, so good, so powerful. Guys, I hope you're taking notes. But again, if you missed anything, this is recorded. So I just want to make sure you guys know that. And we have a testimonial. I'm going to turn it over to Renee.
Hi, everybody. I'm Renee Burns, and I live in Lakewood, Colorado. And it was a few weeks ago. Some friends of mine, actually, two of my girlfriends, got real. I was like, I kind of came down with it. I'm sick for 4 days. I in bed, just sick as a dog. My friends were sick for 3 weeks, and I know that when my mom started to feel bad, I took her some of Immune immediately. She started taking it, and instead of her being sick for days, she was feeling better in just a couple of days. But just drinking water, and I took some orange juice with the Immune, and I tell you what, with my
I think we lost her, Dr. Jeremy.
Oh no. Yeah, she was cutting out a little bit.
But I think we got I mean, I think I heard that she was only sick for 3 or 4 days and her friends were sick for 3 weeks with the same exact thing. And she was taking the Immune. And then when her mom got sick, she
I'm
brought her mom.
back.
Oh, you're back.
no.
Okay. You cut out and then you dropped out.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, just sharing my Immune with my friends, and now they're like, how can I get this stuff? Can I use this? And it's like, yeah, here you go. It works wonderful, and my mom loves it.
That's so awesome. It's nice to have those tools, right? You start to feel a little bad and oh yeah, I can take this and it's gonna speed the process up. And again, it's not preventing or curing any disease or anything like that. It's just giving your body the base things that it needs and helping it communicate so your body can do what it wants to do, which is not be sick.
Amen.
So yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad you had a quick recovery.
Yes, me too. I
We
mean,
all want those.
yeah, my goodness. I love the product. Again, I take it every single day. I love it. I just want to help support and have a healthy immune system. Like you said, we're being bombarded with things all the time. So I love how these products build upon each other as well, Dr. Jeremy. I think it's just incredible. But speaking of that, we'll move on to our next product. This is called our Eternal product. It's also liquid. And this is a super blend antioxidant, so we know that's really good for us. Shake it up, drink it down, tastes fantastic. Again, not necessary, but I like to keep mine in the fridge. You know what? I have to tell you, not only do I take these for the health benefits, I also take them for the snack because it's a healthy snack. And I absolutely love the way this tastes. And I know it's a healthy snack and it's helping my body. So the recommended on here is 1 to 2 packs daily. I sometimes do 3 or 4 because I like it as a snack. So back to you, Dr. Sabo.
No, that's awesome. there's a few people I work with. Sometimes I do some computery stuff. I work for a national lab, so I do on my feet a bunch of lab work, very, very large scale, and then you've got to communicate your data. So I definitely spend some time on the computer. And you start to hear people 2 or 3 o'clock yawning, and like, oh. And so I brought some of these in, and I'm like, hey, try this, and they're like, that's delicious. And they're like, hey, I'm starting to feel kind of slut. Can I have another one? And I'm like, yeah, it works. My favorite time to take, I'll take this one, and so both the fluid packets, the collagen and the eternal, I'll take them after a workout, and it it's great. Like my recovery time is so much faster. So if you go out and you're dancing late, or you're doing some extra work, any sort of physical labor, man, just recovery time matters so much. So that way the next day you're not like, oh, I knew I did too much. So that's my favorite time to take it. It's great for just helping your body function. Yeah, the antioxidant aspect. This has something called glutathione in it. So our body's primary antioxidant system is glutathione, which is this interesting looking molecule, and it's got a sulfur on it. And what's nice about glutathione is that it can be recharged. So most antioxidants, they get used once and your body's like, okay, we've got to move it on. But this one, your body can regenerate and use it over and over. But as we age, we make less of it. We don't hold on to it as well. So by being able to get it into the body, that's awesome. The best way to get it absorbed is intravenously, and can cost like $150 to $300 per time, which is way more than an entire month's supply. And Eternal has the same absorption as you would if you got it intravenously. So, and on top of that, you've got resveratrol and yeah, see what is there? The pomegranate again, the glutathione, acai berry. Um, Resveratrol kind of got the loophole where they were able to encourage alcoholic beverages because the grape skin. But there's another company that I've done some work with that's huge on anti-aging. They screen 10,000 of these little C. elegans, they're transparent worms, every single day, and they're just adding different molecules on and then looking at how these worms grow. And they're transparent, so you can see organ and brain and all their development. So it's this million molecule challenge. Resveratrol is their standard because they know it increases longevity in worms and humans and bacteria and so many things. So that's their standard, is resveratrol. And the amount of grapes you have to eat to get a decent amount is excessive. And if you drink too much wine, it's the opposite effect of what you want. So it's nice to have a supplement that gets the absorption and it's combined with all the other stuff. And again, it tastes delicious. So yeah, I think this one is just like the others, put together very well, and then complements with what everything else is doing. So yeah, quick recovery. That's what I'm all about.
You had me at quick recovery and increases longevity. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, okay, all right. Well, I'm doing the right thing, drinking probably them in excess.
Yeah.
And I do have a testimonial. I'm going to turn it over to Karen.
Hey y'all, my name is Karen Bateson and I am in Matthews, North Carolina. And this product is one that we use often in my house. And also I keep a box in my office at work. So if somebody's not feeling well, I'll tend to hand them a couple and say, take a couple today and a couple tomorrow. And they always come back and go, thank you so much. It just helps them. And it's just an easy thing to hang out and it's yummy and it's whatever. But my husband also has back pain that ties up because he's worked on his feet his entire life. And I throw a couple of these and a couple Revive at him. And instead of weeks and pharmaceuticals, it's a couple days and a natural. And so that's been life-changing for him. And then for me, today is my 10-year cancer-free anniversary. So I am going to fight. Thank you. And I had a total hysterectomy 10 years ago today, and due to uterine cancer. And so I am fighting with everything I've got. And so I've just recently gone back to the gym, knowing this anniversary is coming. I've gone back to the gym. And so I just to lift weights. I know I need to be stronger. I walk, I do all the things, but I need the strength training. And so the other night I maybe did a little bit too much. And so my shoulders were killing me. So I took 2 Revive and an Eternal, and I looked at my husband and I said, I'm doing that again. And so I took 2 more and another Eternal, and I've am able to function. I'm able to sleep. No change in my daily routine because of the weightlifting. And so I'm just so thankful that I can get back to where I was, even better than where I was 10 years ago. And also my feet. After my surgery, apparently surgical menopause can cause great feet pain. Never knew that. Who knew? And so I have not had, in the last couple of years that we've been taking these products, I have not had my feet pain in the morning and that kind of thing. So it just makes my life doable. Just totally. So thanks for letting me share.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, looking good, that's awesome. Feeling good, yeah. And like we all need to be lifting more weights and moving more. Like muscle is an awesome longevity tool. But if you work out and then you hurt, it's kind of discouraging. So being able to speed up that recovery time, yeah, that's super cool. I realize we're getting a little low on time. I tend to be a yapper, so
Oh, this is fantastic. I love it. I love it. And Karen, happy anniversary.
yes,
Anniversary.
that's so cool.
That's a wonderful one. So I'm giving this heart too. Well, our last product of the evening that we're going to talk about is Visage. And this is a neurocosmetic, which is incredible. I'm sure Dr. Jeremy will talk about it. But I just recently learned what neurocosmetic meant. They found that there's a skin brain connection. So when you put this serum on, not only does it help you look good, but it helps you feel good. It gives you like a dopamine hit to the brain. So and if you say, oh, that's impossible, there's science to back it. You guys, we have the studies, we have the proof. That's why all 7 of our products are in what's called the PDR, the Physician's Digital Reference. You can go to pdr.net, type in 3, and all of the products we talked about tonight will come up. But this is a neurocosmetic. Again, you put it on, helps you look good, feel good. But we have a whole skincare line. We have a cleanser, we have a toner, we have the serum, and we also have a very nice moisturizer. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Dr. Jeremy.
So this one is my wife's favorite. Like I said, she's a professional acrobat and teaches Pilates. There's not a lot of acrobatics or acro yoga in Idaho Falls where we are now, but in Colorado and Oklahoma and California and places that we've lived or traveled, huge groups. So we're building it here. But she loves this one, and yeah, she's like, "Hey, this is weird. Like it tingles a little, and then yeah, my mom was like, "Why you called me and you just kept talking. Like you never have this much to say." And she's like, "I just feel good. I feel different." And it makes sense, right? Your nervous system is connected throughout your entire body. And not all of your organs can feel pain, but you can definitely feel it on your skin. So it makes sense that if you add something onto your skin, it connects with your nervous system. There's that response there. It's the beauty of coconut oil, right? It's a great moisturizer, and it's the fats, the way they interact with the nervous system. It's awesome. And then with this product line, yeah, think about what dopamine is. It's the reward pathway. It's a for survival, for sake of having a biological advantage. I want you to do this again, so I'm going to trigger dopamine. So that means that what's in this skincare line, instead of causing issues and petroleum-based estrogen disrupting all the other makeup and cosmetic plastics crap, for lack of a better word, but accurate, you're now doing something where your body's responding and saying, oh yeah, dopamine pathway, this is good, please do this again. On top of the moisturizer and the toner, and I'm learning about all the layers of stuff is still new to me. But yeah, my wife loves this stuff. She's super happy about it. And then yeah, it's good. It's good. And
It's
yeah, it's the
fantastic. I
only
love it.
neurocosmetic that really has been third party tested and works. Like
We
that's
have
just
all
awesome.
the science, right? We have all the science to back it. We have all the proof, you guys. And I do have a testimonial for this product. I'm going to turn it over to Patrick.
Oh,
Thank you,
yeah.
Lori, Dr. Sabo. My name is Patrick Toussaint from Idaho Falls, Idaho. And prior to this product coming out, I had some weird bumps on the side of my face. I'm like, what the heck? I don't know, allergies or whatever, but there were just these bumps that just kind of got bigger and were multiplying. And I don't know, just a weird thing. So I was really excited to learn about this product and then get it. And I put it on my face and I was paying attention. And folks, within a couple of weeks, they were gone. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I got rid of my little skin irritation. So that's me. But my wife, she was doing it and she was keeping track for 7 weeks. And my wife has freckles, little brown freckles on her face. And the before and after, within 7 weeks, those freckles were gone. I'm like, wow, okay. So the thing I love about this product, skin irritation, boom, it takes care of it. So there you go. Whoop, whoop. I love massage.
Yeah, I can throw science at you guys all day long, right? And I love the stuff. That's cool. Science is pretty awesome. I've got a whole career in it, but to hear like, hey, I put it on and it worked, and hey, I took it before and after, like it worked. Like it doesn't matter what the science says, like it works. Just like our bodies, super complicated, but if you feed it and water it and you give it the right stuff, it just works. And like it should be that simple. And yeah, so that's awesome, Patrick. That's so cool.
Yeah, I love it. And I agree with you, Dr. Sable. The products work. You guys, these products are not on trial. They work. You've heard 7 testimonials tonight from all over the globe. I mean, they're not on trial. These are the most incredible products that are absorbing. We have the science to back it. Again, pdr.net, type in 3, all of our products come up. You're not going to find another nutritional company out there that has all of their products in the PDR. You're just not. So we have it. We have it all. We got the cookie and it's right here in front of you. So I want to thank you, Dr. Sabo, so much for sharing so much valuable information. I got a ton of notes. There was so much value, all the great analogies. I mean, what a fantastic evening, you guys. I mean, I'm just so thankful again that you took time out of your day. I know it's a very busy schedule for you to share all of that with us. And I'm so thankful to each testimonial. You guys, the testimonials, wow. I mean, the way these products are helping people, again, all across the globe. And for you guys to just open up and share and be so willing to share with everyone, we appreciate that so, so much. So again, I want to thank everyone for jumping on. And I just want to say, if you want to get these products in your hands, you guys let the person who invited you on the Zoom, let them know, I want to try these products. I want to be a customer. And I'll tell you, there's 2 ways you can be a customer. You can be a retail customer or you can be a wholesale customer. It's up to you. Now, for me personally, why would I pay retail when I can pay wholesale? I mean, that's why I have a Costco membership. And it's the same with us. You're going to pay $30 once a year and you can get all the products at wholesale. To me, that just makes sense. But if you don't want to make sense, that's okay. You don't have to. You can not pay the $30 and you can buy everything at retail. Completely up to you. But let the person know, like, who invited you on here. I want to try these products. I want to start feeling better. I want to experience some of these things that people shared on the testimonial. I want my body to be working in a better way. I want to age gracefully. Let them know. And here's a crazy thing, you guys. There's a way to build a business around this. Not only can you be a customer, maybe you want to be a customer getter. There's a lot of people that want these products. They're in search of these products. People want to live better. And I truly think that 2020 woke a lot of people up and we're like, wow, we got to live better. We got to live healthier. We got to take note of things. And I think a lot of eyeballs have been opened probably before that, but really a lot more since then. And people want to be healthier. They want to live longer. They want to live with less pain. They want to have less stress. They want to sleep better. They want to have more energy. All of our products help in those categories. I mean, I could go on because I mean, I just absolutely love these products. I take every single one. I take them every single day. They build upon each other, as you heard Dr. Sabo sharing tonight. You guys, let the person know I'm interested. And I'm interested in the business aspect as well, because I know a lot of people that would want to use this as a customer and maybe get more customers. Well, you can build a business like that. I mean, how about having a side income, a plan B to what you're currently doing? And if that's something that interests you, we're going to have a gentleman sharing tomorrow night, and he's done just that. He's building a side business. He's making that extra income. He's doing very, very well. If that's something you're like, huh, I'd like to hear more about that. Well, tomorrow night there's going to be a Zoom. Let the person know who invited you on here. I would like that Zoom link. It'll be a 30-minute Zoom tomorrow evening. So with that, I want to thank each and every one of you for jumping on. Again, a huge shout out to Dr. Sabo, a huge shout out to all the testimonials, and I just want to wish everyone happiness and health. Good evening.
Thanks, everyone.